Larson up top, all the way up top. Busher.
He's on the outside. He's in position. He's got it.
And here comes Truex. They're going to close right to the 2 leaders. Coming to the line. Clash together. I believe Busher.
I think you're right. It's so close. This is going to be a huge win for Busher. They're excited. I think it's him, Kevin.
That was incredible.
Corey Heim gets spun just past the checkered flag with, I think, Austin Dillon.
Okay. Let's look at it. I don't. It may be the 5. Hold on.
Well, let's have a look at the video.
Uh-oh.
And as we all know, it was the 5. It was Kyle Larson coming home with the closest win in NASCAR history. I am Jake Keel, the host of the Inside Berm Weekly, and it's good to be back. I'm feeling a lot better. I've had some tooth problems the last couple weeks, and my mustache is really weird right now. I don't know what's going on there, but I've had some tooth problems the last couple weeks, and it's kept me from being able to really talk a whole lot. So we had to push it back. Now I've got my antibiotics and it's taking care of a lot of the problems, and the tooth will be pulled in a couple weeks. But hey, Justin, it's going. It's going. I'm doing all right. Besides the tooth problems, I'm doing better. And I'm glad to be live with you guys and be able to, be back on this show. Pretty big news that I dropped yesterday, and that is the fact that we are we're going to a 2-show format going forward. We're going to have the regular weekly show on Wednesdays. I know today's Thursday, but sometimes Thursdays, depending on things that are going on. We're always in flux. I'm always willing to move the show if possible or if need be, and we can always make adjustments where we need to. But and then Saturdays, before we start the races at Southern Oklahoma Speedway, I'm going to start going live from the score tower and really evolve the racing, the race show. I would like to start getting some more guests on the show, and doing some race day shows is just going to help that. We're going to be able to talk to some people. We're going to, be able to have some more engaging content, have some more people. I'm working on a co-host. So we will see what we're able to go from here. But got some really big news with one of our sponsors, one of my businesses. But let's go ahead and get our sponsors out of the way. Victory Fuel. Get your daily vitamins, electrolytes, and it's kid friendly. It's got low sugar, it's caffeine free, and has no artificial coloring. It's clear, and I've got some Lucky Lemon in my fridge right now. I'm excited because they're introducing a new grape flavor. I'm excited to try that out and see how that tastes. So I love what Victory Fuel's doing. They're making a great athletic sports beverage and electrolyte sports beverage. And it's really, really doing great. Bill Harrell, it's good to see you, buddy. I hope to see you at the racetrack. I haven't seen you in a while, so hopefully we'll see you at the racetrack here soon. Are you going to be racing this year? I can't remember if I've seen you run this year. I knew you've been racing, and would love to call one of your races. So let me know what your plans are for this year. Jake's Dad Carbs, 405-640-6862 for all of your micro carb needs. He's the best here in the state of Oklahoma at carburetors. He can get everything cleaned up for you, fixed, all of that. And I'm saving Spinebuster for last. And that's because we've got a pretty big announcement to make today. So as y'all know, the home of the Super Modifieds Fairgrounds Speedway shirts have been on sale for a while now on Etsy. As of Saturday last week, an order has been put in to have stock of these shirts to be able to take to racetracks. And the first racetrack that these will debut at will be Red Dirt Raceway, Meeker, Oklahoma, for the Mike Peters Freedom 40 Classic. And that is June 21st. We will have those. We will have these hats right here, this beautiful Fairground Speedway hat. In fact, I'll take it off so y'all can see it a little bit better. Fairground Speedway looks right off of the merch stand at the old Speedway. Looks like something you would buy at the track. Shane Carson was the first one to own one. I've got a few floating out there. David Campbell has one of those as well. He's been wearing it. I've been seeing him putting it out there. But we're going to have them at the track. And we're going to, going forward, this is going to make our designs more accessible, and it's thanks to you guys that have supported us along the way with Spinebuster brand and Spinebuster Racing and the people that support this podcast. We're going to have a few new designs. I'm working on a July 4th Independence Day track or a shirt, and but yeah, we're going to have those. We're going to have one other hat that I will debut once I get the first one made. I don't really want to put it out there before it's made, but y'all are going to be very excited about the second hat that we are going to be making. It's an all black hat, and you're going to really like it. Bill Harrell, you've been at the track helping. Okay, well, hit me up next time you're there. If you're going to be there this weekend, let's chat. I'd love to see you. I want to see you race, brother. I don't think you're a washed up B feature winner. Definitely not that. Let's see you race. But that'll do it for our good housekeeping. I am pulling up the information for this weekend. And then we're going to go back into what we're going to talk about. We're going to have a NASCAR heavy day because there's a lot of NASCAR news going on right now. Justin, we're going to talk a lot about Kansas. I would love to be able to go somewhere like that. And do some big stuff. I'm hoping with the way we're expanding now that everything will be perfect going forward to where we can do things like that. But let's go ahead and talk about where I'll be this weekend, where you can see racing, and I'm pulling up one last one real quick. But yeah, we're going to have, we've got a NASCAR design that I've been working on, which is throwback to the old Winston Cup days. And we've got our Bangin' Fenders and Sending Sliders shirt. And that is one of my personal favorites. I wear that one all the time. I love that shirt. So Red Dirt Raceway is on tap this weekend. Here we go. I was looking for the poster for it, and here it is. So jury's still out if I'll be at Red Dirt Raceway this weekend. I would love to go, but really don't like being away from the house 2 nights in a row, away from my family and everything. So we'll see if they want to go. You know, we might end up going. With it being Mother's Day weekend, I'd like to spend some time at home with my wife. But Friday, May 10th, 4 p.m., the pits open, stands open at 5 p.m., qualifying at 7, racing at 7:30. It's the ASCS National Series debut at Red Dirt Raceway. They will have the Sport Mods factory stocks, turf tire, and tuners as well. All access pass $40. General admission $25. High school and younger are $5 to get in, $150 for a tailgate pass. That is 8 people per car. The tailgate situation at Red Dirt Raceway is pretty cool. It's a really cool pass. You can drive your car right up to one of the fences and just tailgate all night long. Really cool way to watch a race. So get excited about that. Justin Condon, I would love to go to Kansas. I've never been to Kansas. I've been to the track, but I've never watched a race there. My NASCAR viewing has only been at Texas, and but that's going to change here soon. I want to go to some new tracks and be able to go. So I would love to do that. But where I'll be this weekend, Southern Oklahoma Speedway, May 11th. If you can't be there, it's going to be live on imca.tv. They do some incredible coverage there. You'll be able to hear my voice straight from your TV. Gates open at 5, racing at 7. There's going to be the IMCA Modifieds, the Sport Compacts, the Sport Mods, the Hobby Factory Stocks, and the Eco Mods, the Economy Mods. Admission for adults, $15. 6 to 10 is $10. Seniors, $10. Under 5 are free. Pit passes are $30. So, really, really, really great track. If you can make it down to Ardmore, Oklahoma, Southern Oklahoma Speedway, it's one of the best tracks on the planet. I guarantee you're going to love what you see. There's always great racing, and John Webb puts on a great track. Let's talk about it. Texas sucks. Texas Motor Speedway sucks. The only NASCAR races I've ever been to were at Texas, and they were both just okay races. But ever since they messed with the format of the track and the layout of the track, it's been horrible. It's been a horrible track. It was okay to begin with, but they've got some work to do. If they could even out the turns and make it, the same banking on both ends, I think they could have a wonderful track. But if that doesn't work, they're going to have to do something, because they're already down to 1 cup date. They used to have 2. They used to have a playoff race. They had the All-Star race there one year. The All-Star race was trash. It was a horrible race that year. And I think people are realizing that it's just not a good racetrack. And I'm sure attendance is down. I can look up those numbers, but I don't want to harp on that. But it's a dreaded spot on the schedule for fans, for racers. The racers were calling it sketchy. So, I mean, that's the only thing you can say about that. They need to go back to 24 degrees. That's make the track like it used to be. Give it some tire wear. Not a whole lot of tire wear, but make it a rough track and let it become what it should be. And that's all I have to really say about that. If they don't do that, let's bulldoze it. Let's put a short track there, and let's go. So let's talk about NASCAR. And I showed this clip at the top of the hour, but let's go ahead and throw this back up.
Larson up top, all the way up top. Busher.
He's on the outside. He's in position. He's got it.
And here comes Truex. They're going to close right to the 2 leaders. Coming to the line. Clash together. I believe Busher.
I think you're right. It's so close. This is going to be a huge win for Busher. They're excited. I think it's him, Kevin.
That was incredible.
Corey Heim gets spun just past the checkered flag.
And as we all know, it wasn't Busher. It was Kyle Larson. And it's been a little bit controversial this week. Not too controversial, but once the photo finish was put out there, they noticed that the painted line that it supposedly justifies the start finish line was not painted all the way to the apron. And if I'm Kansas, that's not happening ever again. But once NASCAR put out the actual picture, where the start finish line is judged, you could see it was clear as day. Larson. It was close. It was really close, and I hate it for Buescher because that team needs that win. He needs that win. And I heard an interesting stat that Chris Buescher, that was his first top 10 at a 1.5-mile racetrack, at an intermediate racetrack ever. That's wild. I don't know if I believe that. Let me go see what his wins came at. Let's see. I'm gonna look that up real quick because I don't know if I believe that, to be honest. But he's won a couple races. Pulling that up. Sorry, guys. So his first win was at Pocono. His last win was at Daytona. Why can I not just get a list of his wins? Scored his 5th Cup win in August 2023 at Daytona. He had 3 wins last year. So, and he had a win in 2016. I don't know. It's very interesting to hear that stat. Like I said, I don't know if I believe it or not, but it could be true. I'm trying to figure it out, but there's not really anywhere that's saying. Okay, so he won Michigan. He won at Richmond last year. He won the Daytona night race 2022. I believe he got a win. He got the Bristol night race, and let's go back to 2016. So there you go. So I mean that adds up. Richmond, that adds up. That he may have never gotten a top 10 at an intermediate track, which is kind of wild. Just shows you how good that team was Sunday. The first 2 stages looked pretty good. I will admit that. The first 2 stages, you can't judge the entirety over the race on the first 2 stages anymore because it only gets dicey whenever it's a close race for the stage win, which obviously helps. The run for the playoffs. But, all that matters is that there was really close racing all day. There was 3-4 wide racing. Multiple clips I've seen this weekend of 3-4-5 wide racing. So, it was a really good race. It was a really good race. And, it sparked this discussion. And I want to hear you guys' thoughts on this. Should NASCAR go to more intermediate tracks? I don't think so. I personally don't, but it's sparking some opinion there. There's, I think Kansas is going to be a highlight with the new gen car. I think this car would run really good at Chicagoland. Maybe we should be going back there, instead of one of these other tracks, but I don't know where you plug it in, because this car produces pretty good road racing. The only thing I can think them taking away from it is a short track, and I don't want to see that go. But as we know, this next gen car has been atrocious on short tracks. So, we're looking to see, with these new rules that they're putting in place at North Wilkesboro for the All-Star race, will that make it a better race? I hope so. I hope that NASCAR is able to fix this, because short track racing is in our blood. It's in our DNA as NASCAR fans. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do, but Chicagoland would be a good track for these cars. I disagree, Justin. And the Chicago street race was pretty badass last year. And I would love to see that stick on the schedule. We'll see how it is this year. Obviously, if it falls off big time and we don't have a good race, and then next year they don't have a good race, I don't know how long their contract is for that. But I think the Chicago street race is cool and unique. So I don't see that happening. But it also, like Dale Jr. Download said the other day, we need to see what happens with Chicagoland. Is it in the state to run a NASCAR race? I don't know what they're doing there, because I don't think they're really doing much there. So let's pull up their website. Let's just go ahead and take a look and see what's going on there. And one of the big problems too is it's in Joliet. It's not in Chicago, so there's not a lot to do in Joliet. There is, the only event they have listed on their website was Supercross. The Supercross World Championship was held there, and that's it. So I don't know. It's a NASCAR track, and it's just sitting, and I think it would be really good with these cars, but we'll have to see. The World of Outlaws visited the Pennsylvania Posse yesterday. Let me pull up the actual deal. They visited Lincoln Speedway, and David Gravel picked up the win. And this is going to be a very interesting thing. David Gravel, in the short time he's been with Big Game Motorsports, has 36 wins. It's not surprising to see David Gravel win anymore, especially in this number 2 car. But this gave Big Game Motorsports their 100th World of Outlaws win, and that's incredible. And with such drivers, he's joined. It was Gravel's 94th win, moving him within one of equaling Dave Blaney for 8th all time. And this is owner Todd Queering's 100th win, where he joins Carl Kinzer, Tony Stewart, Casey Kane, Steve Kinzer, and Dennis Roth as the only car owners to be in that triple-digit category. This is a huge news. And the guys that brought those wins are David Gravel, the crowd pleaser Craig Delansky, which was I don't think people put enough respect on Craig Delansky's name. He had 28 wins in that car. Sammy Swindell, 26. Kerry Madsen, 6 wins. Terry McCarl, 3 wins. And Danny Lasowski with 1. It's always exciting to see the Outlaws beat the Posse. I love when they go to Pennsylvania. I wanted to mention all of this because it was big news, and I'm excited to see them go up against Posse a little bit more this year. But Justin, I'm going to agree to disagree. We can't judge it based on what the racing will be, because they could have no rain this year and it'd be awesome. We don't know. And that's why I'm saying let's wait until we get another one in our books before we really start talking about, taking that away. Silly season is on hand, guys. NASCAR silly season has arrived, and huge news. Michael McDowell is leaving the number 34 Front Row Motorsports, loves Ford, and he's going to Spire next year. Spire must have thrown in a lot of money at his way to go from a Tier 1 team to basically a Tier 4 team. They must have been throwing a lot of money his way. I hear Spire's looking to make some more moves as the year goes on. There's word that they might be buying into another team, but Front Row Motorsports has arrived as this bigger name in racing, and McDowell's got their only 2 victories with playoff berths, one at the Daytona 500, and last year dominating the Indy road course. I mean, absolutely spanking everybody. It's a big loss for Front Row Motorsports, but I really think that we're moving into a spot where dominoes are about to fall, and from what we're hearing about Front Row Motorsports is that they are going to be buying into Stewart-Haas Motorsports, that they're either going to be buying Stewart-Haas and or becoming a partner. From what we hear, Gene Haas wants out, and I don't know how much. I don't know how much Tony Stewart really cares about NASCAR anymore. He just his thoughts seem elsewhere, especially with his drag racing. It's going to be a very interesting couple weeks, because this is the first domino to fall, and a lot more are going to fall. Especially with we're hearing that Noah Gragson and Ryan Preece may be out of a job because of all of this. Ryan Preece probably needs to go back down to Xfinity Racing. He's not cut out for Cup. He's absolutely just been awful in that 41 car. But Noah Gragson, we don't really have a huge sample size to go off of, but it seems like, from what we're hearing, Stewart-Haas is at the very least going to be losing 2 charters, that they're going to sell those 2 charters off. And it'd be interesting to see what happens there. We know Trackhouse is wanting to pick up another charter. We know that Zane Smith is basically on loan to Spire this year from Trackhouse. So it's going to be very interesting to see where this all goes. What about Kaulig? Is Kaulig going to make an actual run for it? There's even word that RFK is wanting another charter. So there's not a lot of charters left, and there's not a lot of charters out there, and we're getting into this weird area where we're not sure, where a lot of guys are going to be. And I would love to see some big changes. There's a lot of people that are still in rides that are complacent in those rides and don't really have a lot to going for them right now. So Yeah, that's exactly what I'm hearing, Justin, is that McDowell was offered big money and a multi-year deal at Spire. Front Row Motorsports basically has had him on year-to-year contracts. I would absolutely take the money in security, 100%, especially with Front Row Motorsports moving up to the Tier 1 classification in NASCAR. It's going to make them more of a landing spot for these bigger Ford drivers. Ford is going to have more expectations from them, and that includes, getting some of their younger guys in these cars. There's a whole bunch of drivers, but not enough seats. And that's the biggest problem in NASCAR right now. Let me pull up the Xfinity chart and just see who we've got. Cole Custer will not go back to the Cup anytime soon. Just looking through the Ford drivers that they've got in development. Haley Deegan, I'm sure they're still fast tracking her to Cup just because it's Haley Deegan and she's super popular. And I love Haley Deegan. I think she's good for the sport. I think she still has a lot of work there, but I think she can be a good driver in Cup, in Xfinity and in Cup. We'll see. We'll see as it's going on. Kyle Sieg, I'd love to see one of the Siegs make it over to Cup. Probably not going to be happening anytime soon. Kaz Gralla is another one. That's kind of in the Ford pool that I could see them wanting to fast track. There's a lot of guys looking for spots, and not all of them are going to come from Ford, obviously. Riley Herbst has a lot of work yet to be done, but he's got the backing behind him in Monster Energy and Terrible Herbst. So, when you have the money, you get fast tracked. That's all there is to it. Noah Gragson, I could see Noah Gragson moving over to Front Row Motorsports, but also I think that my money is on Stewart Haas Racing getting bought out by Front Row Motorsports, getting absorbed, and it being Stewart Front Row, or whatever it ends up being. But I think that Front Row will move one of their guys over into the 41 or whatever the number is next year, and Noah Gragson will be in the 34. I'm excited about that. I think it's a good change. Front Row Motorsports has been better than SHR here recently, and so it's interesting. It's interesting. So, and Front Row has Todd Gilliland. Is Todd gonna stick around? I don't know. He's not really been relevant for a while. So I don't know. FRM is about to be a major player in NASCAR, and I think Michael McDowell is the first ball to drop. I think they're going to get in some good drivers over there and be able to, make some good changes. And it's all started with them being a Tier 1. It's wild to look at the team charts and see all of the different sponsors that each car has, and then there's someone like Kyle Larson that has one sponsor. Alex Bowman has one, Ally Financials for all races. It's wild how far we've come from a few years ago when it was just one sponsor, 36 races, and now it's, Noah Gragson has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 primary sponsors. So, and I believe most of them came with him. Some of them are a Stewart Haas deal, but most of them came with him from Junior Motorsports. So we'll see, guys. There's a lot that's about to happen, and I would keep your eye on Jayski's Silly Season site. It's probably the best site you can go to get this information, but we're getting ready to see a lot. We're getting ready to see a lot happen and a lot of dominoes falling. I can't wait to see where everybody ends up. It's gonna be a very interesting week. So go support your racing this year. Go support local racing this weekend. There's a lot of really good options to go to. And with that, I'm gonna head out for the day. I'm glad that y'all were able to stay with me today, and thank you for being patient and understanding of me moving the show. But y'all have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time.